Okay, so the last video I made about the ACH high cut brought a couple of things to my attention. I had a lot of questions, just basic questions about materials and tools, and I realized I've been kind of messing with this so long. I overlook a lot of stuff, and there was a point when I first got into this, I did not know shit, and I had all the same questions, and now I'm just kind of used to it, and it's common sense for me, and I just assume it's common sense for other people, even though this crap definitely is not. So what I want to do in this video is discuss the different platforms into getting night vision on your head. We have a bump helmet, a head harness, and a ballistic helmet right here, which are the three main platforms people use to strap this shit on their head. So because I obviously can't choose the best platform for you and your use case, I've created 5 categories to help you narrow it down. The first one being weight, comfort, accessory compatibility, transport, which is like ease of transporting, non-permissive, which will make sense later, and then the cost. And it's going to be on a 1 to 3 scaling system just to keep it simple. So let's get started. So weight. The lightest of these options is obviously going to be the head harness. And then the second lightest option is going to be your bump helmet. And then the third is obviously your ballistic. That's pretty obvious. All right, second category, comfort. This one's going to be subjective. I can tell you by my 3 setups, the most comfortable just to throw on and go is going to be the bump helmet, for sure. The head harness, it's okay. I have kind of shaggy hair, so it pulls my hair a little bit if I'm not careful putting it on. In conjunction with a balaclava, it works a lot better, and it goes on pretty easy, but not as easy as just throwing, one of these on. You have to kind of open it up and fit it over your head, and it's a little finagly. So this would be the most comfortable. This is light, and when you get it set on your head right, it's actually pretty comfortable. I think it would be a toss-up between this and the ballistic helmet for different reasons. The weight makes it a little less comfortable than this, but it fits the same as the bump helmet. Yeah, these are about the same comfort for different reasons. This is much lighter, but kind of, it's elastic on my head. This fits well, but it's weight. So I'd say it's a tie for these, and then the bump helmet is the most comfortable. All right, accessory compatibility. This pertains mostly just to being able to fit accessories, strobes, lights, ear pro, and all that stuff to these platforms. So obviously these two are going to be the same. They both use arc rail systems, which is this over here. Okay, it's like a reverse Picatinny for your helmet. So these both use those systems. These are the same. I can fit everything on these two, vice versa. This is where it gets a little different because you're just talking about straps and stuff. It's just a little bit harder. So in order to fit things over here on this, you have to use basically, I use one wrap. So I use one wrap to connect this. You can use one wrap to connect strobes to the top and your cables and whatnot. And then I've already got the pouch on the back that came from Tracer Tactical. So it's just a little more intuitive getting this set up versus stuff will just bolt right onto these. So it's no big deal there. All right, next one, transport. This pertains to actually transporting these platforms with you and the ease of doing so. Transporting helmets, it just sucks. You're going to need some kind of dedicated bag or system to transport these. They're both the same. It's just awkward, okay? This right here is where it shines. This, you can crumble it up, throw it in a cargo pocket, a pouch, a fanny pack. It'll you can ball it up into a pretty small shape. So that makes it awesome for transport. As a matter of fact, the main reason I have this right here is for EDC use. So like if I'm just going to a buddy's house for 20 minutes and I want to use some night vision, mess around, or just small little activities, and I just want to have something quick and easy, this right here is idea. So for transport, this one wins. These two, they're both awkward, but that's kind of expected, right? All right, next category, non-permissive, which is probably a bit of a strange category, but the reason it's here is because of the head harness. So basically, these two options, the bump helmet and the ballistic helmet, are both going to be overt options, meaning once you put these on, everybody's going to notice you and they're going to know you're trying to do something tactical and they're going to be looking at you. This option right here fits really tight to your head, and if I'm wearing a hoodie or something, I can actually throw a hoodie over it, and it's pretty much completely hidden. It's not much different than, wearing a ball cap and throwing a hoodie over that. So this is fantastic in non-permissive environments as well. And that's the main reason why I bought this. The ease of transport and the non-permissive environment thing. I can throw this in a pocket, throw it on my head, throw it back in a pocket, done. Versus these, yeah, that's going to be an issue. All right, so non-permissive, this is obviously number one, and these two are going to be ranked 3 because they're overt as shit. All right, next is cost. So the cheapest option is actually the bump helmet. That's a Galvion Cayman clone. It's not the real one. That one is made by FMA. The real one is like 350, 400 bucks, I think. I don't know, something like that. This one was about 125, 130. I've had zero issues with this helmet. It's super comfortable. The padding is good. The suspension is good. I've had no issues with the arc rail fitment. No complaints at all. It's actually probably my most comfortable option too. So that's a great option for 125, 130 bucks. This is the Tracer Tactical head harness, V2, I think. I think there's a V3 out now. I bought this V2 without the shroud or the Wilcox mount or the admin light. Just the harness and the pouch on the back, which you can't see, was 178 bucks. Okay. This option, this is a ACH high cut mod helmet. So this is the cheapest American made ballistic option you're probably gonna find. There's a whole video on this, but basically I just cut that out, turned it into a high cut, saved some weight, and built it out for relatively cheap. So you can build one of these out. If you get the helmet for say 150 bucks, you could go super cheap on Amazon, which I would not recommend. Probably another 100 bucks and crap, you might finish one out. I would recommend getting MSA rails. Those are about 50, 60 bucks. Definitely get those. Anyway, you can build that out for 3 to, I'm gonna say 500 bucks, right? So that's the most expensive option, least expensive option, and the middle of the road niche option, which I don't really feel like most people are gonna choose. Okay, so I've got it all tallied up. I guess the lowest score wins because we were ranking highest to lowest. So the bump helmet scored a 10. The Tracer Tactical Harness scored a 9. And then the ballistic scored a 14. If you're preparing more for the long game and you have limited funds, maybe you'd want to save up for something like this. Maybe if this option is too heavy, maybe you'd really want to shell out some dough for the Ops Core option, which is like I think $1,700, but what you get with that is basically everything minus weight. You're going to get a helmet that's about a pound lighter, and it's going to rival the weight on this. So you would actually get something like this kind of usability and weight with ballistic protection, but you're going to spend a lot of money for that. So I think most people that are getting into this hobby probably go toward the bump helmet. And you don't have to get a $120 bump helmet either. You can go on eBay and get a $40 airsoft bump helmet just to mount your shit on and get started. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to make fun of you. The people who are making fun of you probably don't even have night vision or IR lasers or even use this shit to begin with. So if $40 sounds good, then go do that. Get a $40 bump helmet and start learning how to use your equipment. And then you can graduate to all this stuff if you think you need it or not. But this would be my recommendation if you're just looking to get started and get something on your head. If you're in for the long game, then maybe try to find a light ballistic option, save up some money and shell out some dough, get that, be done with it. This right here is kind of a niche thing. So do you want to EDC night vision equipment? Do you want to have an option you can throw in a pocket? Do you want to have an option you can throw under a hood in a non-permissive environment? I don't know. But for those reasons, this might be a good option to have. I should have made this an entire category, but I kind of forgot. I need to talk about heat. This ballistic option, it does get hot, especially in the summertime. Your head's gonna cook, bro. I mean, there's just no way around it. This right here is much better. It's way cooler because you have some venting. It's just a thinner shell. It's considerably cooler to run that thing during the summer too. So that's definitely a big thing to consider. And I should have put it on my little tally board over here, but it's all right. I think everyone gets the point. So definitely consider heat dissipation. So one more thing I want to touch on is once you get your platform, the first thing you're going to realize when you attach a device to it, it's going to be front heavy. And you're going to want to figure out a way to power your device and counterweight it. So here's the best option I found. So if you're running with digital devices, which I am right now, I'm messing with this MVG50, trying to make a dual band setup with a thermal and some other stuff. So mostly digital stuff right now. So I found these little mini battery banks at Walmart. It's PowerTech 10,000 milliamp hour pocket power bank pocket pro, and it's the perfect size to fit in one of these little brain pouches. And then for the counterweight, what I do, I buy marine weights on eBay, which is just small little lead beads. It comes in like this these mesh plastic pouches. You just cut them open and then just get some Ziploc bags and a postal scale and just weigh out what you need, and you can make a really thin counterweight that's sized exactly how you need it. So that's the best way I've found to power your devices and counterweight them. I hope this information helps some people. If you found this informative, comment, like, subscribe. Christ is still king.